Manager, that old man walking over there. Isn't he coming to our hotel? No way, he's coming to us. What the heck? I'm sorry, but my reservation is injured. Oh, is that so? But that gentleman with the briefcase will check me in right away. Then, I need a bathroom. Can I at least use the bathroom? The bathroom here is open only for guests. The classical music playing in the lobby seemed to have stopped. The young employee at the reception desk looked at the VIP manager for help, unable to hide his embarrassed expression. Hello, I'm John Smith. I'm an ordinary old man, 65 years old, who runs a small community in the countryside. Every morning, I tend to the garden, talk to the elders in the village, and share snacks with the children who are coming home from school. Today, I came to New York City for some business, and happened to stop by a hotel in Manhattan. But was it because of my shabby attire? The cold stares and unfriendly service of the staff left a small scar on my heart, so I decided to tell this story. I thought that what I experienced could be a mirror that shows the true face of our society, and the surprising stories that happened afterward. That morning, I was working in the garden of a rural community center as usual. I was trimming lettuce with yellow rubber gloves on, and my knees soaked in sweat. I was working while talking to the elders of our village as usual. Mr. Smith, go home early today and rest. If your knees aren't feeling well these days, I shook my head at Grandma Mary's warm, concerned words. My small dream that I started here 5 years ago was now bearing big fruit. Every morning, the elders would help their children go to school, and in the afternoon, they would share snacks with the children as they came home. Grandma, today, I think I should go to New York. I had decided to meet an old acquaintance. I got on the bus to New York without even thinking about changing into my work clothes. My heart was fluttering because it was my first time in New York in a long time. As I watched the scenery passing by outside, I suddenly thought of the past days. When I arrived at the busy Manhattan area, it was already past lunchtime. Since I still had some time before my appointment, I decided to stop by a nearby hotel and take a short break. I saw employees in fancy uniforms welcoming a luxury vehicle. As I entered the lobby, a young employee with a name tag named Max looked me up and down. My work clothes and muddy shoes seemed to make his gaze uncomfortable. I couldn't hide the judgment and contempt I could read in his eyes. Can I take a short break in the lobby? Sorry, but this is a space for guests only. Just then, a middle-aged gentleman in a suit came in and the same employee changed his appearance 180 degrees. Welcome, customer. Sit down comfortably and rest. Go, VIP. The female employee who seemed to be the manager watched the situation, but did not take any action. Rather, she seemed to secretly support Max's actions, and at that moment, a part of my heart knew. In our village, I thought of the wrinkled faces of the fishermen I encountered every day and the innocent smiles of the children. In our village, anyone would have been warmly welcomed without discrimination. I will come back later. My steps as I turned around were heavy, but my heart was strong. It seemed that today's experience had made me realize something. As I left the hotel, I tightly packed my business cards in my pockets. It wasn't time yet, but I had something to show them soon. As I left the hotel and sat on a bench in a nearby park, I heard someone's footsteps running hurriedly. Grandpa. I looked up and saw a young female employee in a hotel uniform, panting. The name tag said Emily. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. That was earlier. I watched the situation, but couldn't do anything. My heart ached when I saw tears welling up in her eyes. Miss, it's okay. I made a lot of mistakes when I was young. No, Grandpa. What we did wasn't a mistake. It was wrong. I couldn't do it myself because I'm new, but I don't think our hotel should be like this. Emily's words were sincere. She took out a small notebook from her pocket and quickly wrote something. This is my contact information, Grandpa. If you ever need help later, please contact me anytime. And please come to our hotel again. I'll take care of you myself. Her sincere apology and warm heart left a deep impression on me. As I accepted the notebook, I thought to myself, there's still hope. Thank you, miss. But is it okay for me to come out like this? I'm worried that it might be a problem. It's okay. I said it was lunchtime. More importantly, Grandpa, our hotel used to be a really nice place. They say it used to be famous for its warm and friendly service. The words of the next poem made my heart know. Yes, that's how it was 20 years ago when I first started this hotel. But now it's just a place filled with cold vanity. What kind of hotel do you dream of? I want it to be a place where all guests can rest comfortably, regardless of age, appearance, or status. Maybe it's too naive, but no, that's what a real hotel looks like. There was silence for a moment. Emily looked at his watch and got up quickly. Oh, I think I should go back now. Grandpa, I'm really sorry. And please come back. After she left, I touched the business card in my pocket again. It seemed like it was time to start a change. But before that, I needed to observe the current state of this hotel a little more. And I thought I should find out if there were any other employees like Emily. On the bus ride back to the countryside, it started to rain outside the window. As I thought about what happened today, my heart strangely I could feel it getting warm. Sometimes, even in sad experiences, you can find hope. A week passed. During that time, I visited the hotel in different clothes every day. Sometimes in old sportswear, sometimes in a simple suit. I sat in a corner of the lobby and watched the people moving. Oh, that old man sitting over there is not the same one who came yesterday. Lower your voice. That person has been coming every day lately. I thought it was suspicious, so I reported it to the security team. I heard whispering at the reception desk. I felt the sharp gaze of VIP manager Laura, but I pretended to read the newspaper. Emily, don't mind the guests. Those who don't fit the image of our hotel should be made uncomfortable. But, manager, I don't even know who that person is, and I guess you still don't know how cold-hearted hotel management should be. A luxury hotel is a place for the chosen people. Emily lowered her head at manager Laura's words. However, her expression clearly showed that she disagreed. While observing, I found something peculiar. There were two types of employees in this hotel. Those who judged people based on their appearance, such as manager Laura and Max, and those who aimed for sincere service, such as Emily. One scene was particularly impressive. One day, an old man in a wheelchair came to the hotel restaurant with his grandson. I'm sorry, but the restaurant is only open to guests with reservations. Please wait a moment. I'll take you in. Emily quickly came out and guided them. Despite receiving a sharp gaze from manager Laura, she did not lose her smile. Grandpa, come this way, please. I prepared a window seat for you. I thought it would be nice for your grandson to have a meal while looking at the New York City scenery. When their bright laughter could be heard from the restaurant, a smile appeared in Emily's eyes. That evening, the grandfather personally thanked the restaurant manager and left. Watching these scenes, a small hope grew in my heart, and plans began to take shape one by one. My father came again. Emily approached me carefully and greeted me. There must be a reason why you observe me like this every day. I hesitated for a moment, but I made up my mind after seeing her sincere eyes. You'll know tomorrow. Emily made a sad expression, but didn't ask any more. She simply brought me a cup of warm tea and smiled silently. Tomorrow, everything will finally be revealed. The next morning, I went to the hotel for the first time in a suit. The luxurious suit and goodies reminded me of the first time I went to the hotel 20 years ago. It was awkward to wear it for the first time, but I thought it was time. Welcome, customer. Max greeted me politely. His attitude had changed to the point where I wondered if he was the same employee who had been cold to me a week ago. I would like to see the manager. I am sorry, but if the manager does not have an appointment, it is okay. I will go see him in person. I shook off his persuasion and headed to the manager's office with familiar steps. I heard footsteps that looked clearly flustered behind me. Wait a minute, customer. When I opened the door to the guest room in that direction, manager Laura got up from her seat with a surprised expression. I am sorry, but does the manager still come to work at 8 a.m.? Everyone froze at my words. At that moment, a familiar voice was heard from the end of the hallway. It is still coming to work at 8 a.m. Wait a minute. Manager Bob's face turned pale. Chairman Steve. In an instant, the office became as quiet as a mouse. The blood drained from manager Laura's face, and Max, who was at the door, seemed to lose strength in his legs. He said, "Thank you for your hard work." As soon as I finished speaking, the office began to stay. In the hallway, Emily was watching this scene with a surprised expression. Mr. Chairman, I'm really sorry. We didn't know, so Manager Laura tried to apologize in a hurry, but I raised my hand to stop her. We've seen enough over the past week. There was silence for a moment. Tension filled everyone's faces. Starting today, the way this hotel is run will change significantly. Everyone held their breath. This hotel is no longer a place for the privileged. We will make it a place where everyone, including the elderly, children, and people with disabilities in wheelchairs, can rest comfortably. But Mr. Chairman, if that happens, the hotel's dignity will be lost. Manager Laura's words were stopped with a gesture once again. The manager doesn't know what true dignity is yet. It's the same. Chairman Bob looked surprised and said to Emily, who stepped forward, "The sincerity and warmth you showed are the true dignity we should pursue." After the identity was revealed, the hotel shook as if an earthquake had occurred. Rumors spread among the employees, and some high-ranking executives expressed their intention to submit their resignations. The chairman prepared a meeting for all employees. We were guided by Emily to the banquet hall. When we opened the door, about 300 employees were sitting with nervous expressions. Do you know why I disguised myself like this and toured the hotel for a week? The auditorium was as quiet as a mouse. When I first started this hotel 20 years ago, my dream was simple: to create a space where tired people could rest comfortably. That was all. I took a breath and continued. But at some point, we began to discriminate against people in the name of luxury. We avoided elderly people in wheelchairs, saying they were uncomfortable, and we considered laughter as noise. Manager Laura bowed her head. But now it will be different. Just like the community I have run in the countryside for the past 5 years, this hotel will be a space that warmly embraces everyone. The small commotion among the employees has gone. Some people may be worried that the dignity will drop, that the profit will decrease, but I guarantee that true dignity comes from inclusion, not discrimination. At that time, someone from the back row carefully raised his hand. Chairman, what specific changes are planned? The person who asked was a young chef. We will create a lounge exclusively for the elderly in a corner of the first-floor lobby. And we will install a children's playroom and a nursing room on the second floor. I would like you to develop a special menu for the elderly and children in the restaurant. The chef's eyes sparkled. And the most important thing is the mindset of the employees. Special training will be held for the next month. How to treat the elderly and the disabled. Technology to communicate with children. You will learn everything. There was a moment of silence, and then someone started clapping. It was Emily, and soon the applause spread throughout the banquet hall. Finally, Manager Laura, who seemed nervous, said to her as she stepped forward, "You will be working at our rural community center for the next month. I hope you will learn what real service is there." Manager Laura's face turned red, but she nodded. "Yes, I understand, Mr. Chairman." A month has passed. The hotel was literally a construction site. A cozy lounge exclusively for seniors was built in one corner of the lobby on the first floor, and a playroom filled with the laughter of children was set up on the second floor. Mr. Chairman, today is the first intergenerational communication program, Emily announced in an excited voice. She was now the team leader in charge of planning a new program at the hotel. Oh, the program where the grandmothers tell old stories to the children. Yes, already 15 grandmothers and 15 children have signed up. On the way to the program room on the second floor, I encountered a familiar face. The voice of the woman who was the head of the department, who had returned from a month-long training in a rural community, trembled. At first, it was so hard. Every morning, I tended the garden, listened to the elders, and played with the children. But as time passed, I realized how much I had been caught up in prejudice. Tears flowed from Laura's eyes. Especially, the stories I shared while making kimchi with the grandmothers made me realize how valuable their life experiences and wisdom were. And now I know how precious the pure laughter I spent with the children was. Why did we start this change? Laura nodded. Now I want to take the lead and lead this change. When I arrived at the program room, a warm scene unfolded. The grandmothers were sitting the children on their laps and telling them old stories. The children were absorbed in the stories with curious eyes, and the grandmothers' faces were filled with happy smiles. "Isn't this the image of a real hotel?" Emily said with an emotional expression. "Yes, We are not just a place to provide a place to sleep. This should be a place where generations meet, memories are made, and wisdom of life is passed on. At that moment, a little child got up from his grandmother's lap and ran towards me. "Grandpa, tell us a story too." At that moment, everyone's eyes turned to me, and laughter spread. I held the child's hand and joined the storytelling group. When I told them about my experiences in the countryside, the children listened with sparkling eyes, and the grandmothers nodded their heads in agreement. At that moment, I realized that this was exactly what I had dreamed of when I started the hotel 20 years ago. It was a hotel that truly embraced everyone, where age, appearance, and social status didn't matter. In the end, this was the true hospitality that the hotel should have pursued. A world where people are truly respected and cared for, no matter their age or background. The dream was being realized, and it felt like the entire hotel had turned into a warm, welcoming home.